Hi. A chronic injury is something that happens over time. It's something small, but it happens repeatedly, so it turns into something quite big. And then an acute injury is something that happens so suddenly. So let's say a fracture. Tennis elbow is a chronic injury. It happens from when a tennis player may play tennis all their life, so their elbow will start to wear down. The things you can see from it is swelling, they can have pain, they can have aches, and it's just causing discomfort. Golfer's elbow is the opposite of tennis elbow, so the other side of the elbow, and it needs to be treated frequently with hot and cold treatment. It's to do with the flexion, so you can also actually get it from typing on a keyboard, funny enough. But then you have shin splints, which is fractures and micro tears. It causes aches, pains, has swelling. It's just not good. You also have stress fractures, which happen at the front of the shin. You can get them from running. It will cause redness and soreness and swelling. But also at the end you have tendonitis, which is an overuse of tendons. The main one is the Achilles, where it happens, and it will cause swelling, soreness and pains. A sprain is what happens in the ligament. It's normally in the ankle. So for example, if you're running and you went into a pothole, your ankle's most likely to roll like that. That would be to do with a sprain. It can cause swelling, discomfort, quite a lot of pain. But with a strain, it's normally because you've overstretched the muscle. So what causes a strain is not doing a warm-up properly if you're going to play football. So the muscle will overstretch, you'll get small tears. If you've got a broken bone, in fact, though, it would be a lot more painful. It is an acute injury, of course, and it will cause a lot of discomfort. You'll get a bit of swelling, maybe a bit of redness, and it's just very painful. But then you have a dislocation, which is always at the joint, and you normally get a dislocated shoulder because of the ball and socket joint, and it will pull out of place because of the pressure. But it will potentially swell up, it will be very sore, it's very painful in fact. Then you have a torn ligament. In the torn ligament, it's normally the ACL which is hurt, and it will swell up a lot. You won't be able to move it much, very sore, and it's just very, very bad, much like the rest of them. They're all acute injuries, and they all have sudden impact. Now I'm going to talk about the psychological side when you get injured. The first one I'm going to say is anger. This is normally built up emotions, typically to do with sadness and frustration. This typically happens because the situation that has occurred to cause the injury. The person that got injured may be angry because of the other player not playing by the rules, which caused that injury to happen. The second one I'm going to talk is anxiety. This is normally to do with sadness, worry, uncertainty. So, for example, if you injure your ACL and you go for a header, you may be really anxious about what's going to happen when you land. So you might not want to do that anymore. Now I'm going to talk about depression. This is normally when you're upset a lot, like melancholy. So this is, let's say you have a really dangerous injury to your back with your spinal cord, obviously all the nerves. You may have to retire. This can send you into a state of depression. The next one I'm going to talk about is isolation. This is normally when you're left out of something, so you feel alone. So you have no one to be with. So if you're injured and you're going through that recovery, you might not have someone to talk to, someone to be there with you, someone that's experiencing the same thing you are.
Okay.
Now, frustration. This is normally by being annoyed. So let's say you've got injured and you're having a very slow recovery. This might frustrate you, make you angry. So, for example, Mohamed Salah in the UCL final against Real Madrid, he injured his shoulder. He didn't want that to happen. He was frustrated because he missed out on potentially winning a major tournament. The last one I'm going to talk about is lack of confidence. This is when you can't trust yourself no more. So if you're injured, you don't think you can perform to how you did. So for example, we're going to talk about Ronaldo, the Brazilian, back in the World Cup. He done a lot of knee damage, and to get everyone's attention away from the knee injury, he actually got a rather peculiar haircut to take the attention away. It gave him more confidence because no one was putting him down about the injury.